lucky, yes. No matter why you're lucky, yes. Everybody go be that lucky, yes.
That's Kwame!
Send your God up boom! If you put it toye, so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey!
Is that his car?
Dial star 712#. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
So tonight we're speaking to an engineer, politician, who's a key political leader in the new patriotic party. Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. He's been there, he's done that. He served in the John Ajay administration as the presidential spokesperson. He was also the general secretary of this party. He's tried to lead it as its flag bearer. He tried that in the 2020 round and did not win. But some reforms have been put in place, some of which he suggested. And he believes that he has a chance, a fighting chance. So he's been campaigning. Yesterday, the flag bearers met President Akufo-Addo, the former president, in a very nice, I don't know if it was breakfast or lunch. He's here to talk to us about everything. Engineer, good to see you.
It's a pleasure, Bernard.
Can I call you the indefatigable?
Well, you can use those words. I am tenacious.
You don't give up.
No, I shouldn't. I want to be known as the one who stood up for what is right in Ghana. And if it leaves me alone in that standing, I would do so. I want to die on principle and push for things to be done properly in our country. And if it comes at a political cost, it doesn't matter.
And in a sense, you are condemned to Ghana and NPP. You love the country, you love the party. So
that's right.
At every point in time, you have to stand up for either of the two.
We have to. I mean, it's important that we recognize that political parties are vehicles to run the country, to develop the country. I mean, the centerpiece of politics is the welfare of the ordinary person, especially the underprivileged. So the values that we need to have as politicians have to change. One, you have to be public-spirited. It means you should be prepared to serve without expecting anything in return. You should be able to sacrifice at cost to yourself. And some of us have done so many years ago when it was life-threatening to be identified with this political tradition. And then also being selfless, having empathy. That, for me, is important. Those are the traits that I want to see in the new politician. I think it's time for us now to recalibrate the way we see politics, and that it is not a piece of cake to be shared by politicians and their cronies and their party, and that when you are elected as president, you are president of everybody.
Okay.
And of course, we all know that when you have your party in power, there are a few things, goodies that you get along the way. That is acceptable and understandable. But if you look at where we are as a country, I mean, I think the country stands in urgent need of healing from this strident polarization and divisiveness. You know? And that is not helpful, because one of my 6-point plan is to restore meritocracy and professionalism back to the public services. And I think presidents after presidents have sometimes tinkered far too much with our public services and over-politicized it. And I'm a bit more disappointed in the current president, the way he dealt with the army, which I felt was touching a very vital state institution. And was it President Obama who came in and said we need to build strong institutions, not individuals? And so I feel very uncomfortable when I see presidents tinker with state institutions. Not only that, moved on to the judiciary, which is one of the 3 legs of our democracy. And I think that the idea that one leg of democracy can take over the other is something that all of us have to repudiate and find a way to protect. Because whilst every 4 years, the president has to go to the people for a mandate, the same with the legislature, we have the judiciary as our bastion. This is our last refuge when we are all in trouble, that we can run to and expect some proper adjudication. And so when we taint it politically, you know, that is damaging the very essence of our democracy. So
we'll come to some of those.
Yeah.
I think some people have felt that one of the problems we have is that there's too much politics. all year round, and they feel like the NPP has started too early. Yeah. I've discussed some of these things with you in the past, where you sort of agree that we shouldn't politicize everything. So how come you proposed an early Flagbearer election for NPP and you supported all the ideas towards January in fact, I think you even said December 2025. That was your original proposal, right?
I think people misunderstood my proposal.
Okay.
And it's captured in writing. I don't know whether, I think I sent you a copy.
I'm sure I have it.
Yes, and I spoke at the National Council because we are in exceptional circumstances. We have a situation where our party is normally led by the chairman. And you've had the likes of BJ Darocha, Odoi Sykes, Peter Ajete. These were very strong characters. Unfortunately, we don't have a situation now, especially when even the current chairman is not able to perform his duties, unfortunately. And so, therefore, there's a big vacuum. So I was of the view that, look, let's open up the Electoral College to cut out the monetization of the electoral processes and also to give power to those who've really sacrificed for this political tradition. All past officers of our party, from the polling stations, it used to be the wards, the electoral areas, to the constituencies, right through to the national. These are patriots of our party who have given their time, their energy, their sweat, equity to bring this party where we are today. And if we can open up and give them that voting right, that sense of belonging will be assured. That sense of participation will be assured. And the feeling that they have been ostracized. And one of the most painful things in this political tradition, as I've been going around, is the fact that people gave their all, especially in those difficult days in the 1990s, in the return to democracy. And today, I mean, you have people who've been regional chairmen multiple times, members of parliament, cabinet ministers who don't have a voting right. And I felt that was wrong. And so I said, look, let's open up. And if they had heeded my call, we would have about 1.5, maybe 2 million in the Electoral College. And I think that is more representative of the party, And I said that if that was achieved, then perhaps we should consider having the flag bearership contest first.
Okay, so it was conditional?
It was conditional. I mean, the letter is there.
Exactly.
But of course, I think it fell into some people's own plans. And so before I finished even delivering my statement in council, I mean, I heard it was all over the news. Kwabena Agyepong says early primaries, top down. I never used the word top down.
Oh,
no,
wow.
Never. I mean, it's there. And
so you gave a condition that
yes,
if the electoral college is expanded.
If you look at the results, the fact that if you compare 2020 to 2024, that over 2 million of our sympathizers did not turn up. The only good thing was that they didn't vote for the other side, okay? And I have a certain phone, an old phone from my time as press secretary. Everybody knows that number. It's a telecell number. And so I'm on a lot of platforms. And that particular phone, sometimes if I want to know what is going on, I wake up a bit early and I go through. It's quite clear that people felt a sense of being ostracized, especially the older folk who had given their all, and that power had been just invested in the few delegates. There's no position such as a delegate in the Constitution. They are polling station executives, and they are supposed to be the frontline soldiers of our struggle, the ones who should do our advocacy at the local level. But because it's been overtaken by picking the biggest person or the parliamentarian, now people refer to themselves as delegates, and that is wrong. So they've lost focus of what they are supposed to be doing. Okay. And it's created a situation where people feel, okay, if we are not part of the decision, then when it comes to campaign, do it and let's see, in the traditional Ghanaian parlance. So I felt this was going to bring an easy, no-brainer solution. All those who have been, as you say, schemed out of position, because we've also known over the last 3 or so cycles, certain people on the party's register have been schemed out. Our Constitution, Article 3, talks about the polling station being the basic unit of political activity, and that they should be renewing themselves every 6 months, submitting their registers to the party headquarters. In fact, when I was General Secretary, I caused to be printed over 40,000 polling station registers to try and encourage the party to be active at the base, so that if you meet as a polling station, normally 30 people, 25, you know yourselves. So when it gets to electing the 5 to represent you at the presidential ballot, it doesn't become a difficult situation where people from national office or constituency office have to come and determine for you because you have a register. You know, so those are the things that I've been pushing for. So I'm a reformer. I want us.
So let me get this clear. We're in exceptional circumstances without MPP having a chairperson. So I would have thought that maybe MPP should have just had an interim chair, or maybe voted for some national executives first, and then that team will have the mandate to choose a flag bearer. So in a sense, your proposal has been distorted.
Definitely.
It's been distorted.
It's been distorted in a way, you know. So people then started taking umbrage with me that I'm the one who pushed for the early conference, early Congress and all that.
And now you are not supporting it fully, but of course you are part of the...
Well, I'm part of it. I respect the party. Once we go to National Council, the majority takes the decision. However much I canvass against it, I find it very uncomfortable to come out and say, look, I don't.
But do you see the risk? Because everything you do has a risk. Do you see the risk of this approach?
The risk? In fact, what I was expecting that once we went to conference, and conference accepted that we should expand, although marginally. I wanted this expansion that I spoke to you
much
about.
Broader.
Much broader. They said we should add only 2 to the polling station. I would have thought then we should have had a new polling station register, renewed the base, and they form about 93% of the electoral college. So that if we had allowed that to happen, but some have said if we do so, we are curtailing the current mandate of the polling station executives. But that mandate expires in February. And this election is 31st of January. So I made a few suggestions. Either we push the election 2 months to allow for a new set of polling stations so that we can add the 2 more. Because if you multiply 2 by 40,000 polling stations, you're talking about 18,000 people. Now there is a rider at conference. They call it a sunshine clause or whatever. That says that we should hold this most important election before we add the 2, which is something I never agreed to, but that was a majority decision. And also the 7,000 polling electoral area coordinators areas, we were supposed to add 5 more. And that's nearly 30,000. If you add that to the 80,000, you have well over 120,000 people who are being disenfranchised because we are holding this election on the 31st. You know, I would have thought we've compromised a bit. Either we talk to the polling station and say, hey, guys, okay, we know that your mandate is supposed to expire in February, but can we have your election in December so that we can refreshen the base of the party, add the 80,000 and the 30,000 so that they can
But do you see the logic in the people who say that because the party risks getting divided further, it may be better to choose the object that may divide the party early? I think that's the logic. Because, for example, the flag bearer is the biggest thing, right? So if you have a flag bearer by February 2026, then every other election may not really be that divisive because they already know who they are going to sort of support.
Rally around.
That's the logic of that position.
Well, I mean, I think some of us are uncomfortable with that suggestion, okay? I think most importantly, it is the way we conduct the primary. Because the fact that you give it time doesn't mean it will heal the wounds. The wounds are deep, the cuts are deep and bad. Time may not heal it. So that's why I think it's important that all of us should recognize that our primary loyalty is to the party, the NPP, and none of us is bigger than the NPP. And so our conduct must show that, you know, and so we have to be very careful what we say. And I think some of the things that have been exchanged not truly complementary to our party, and it tends to arm our opponents for the battle ahead, and it's something that we should all condemn. And
just a final point on this. There's a sense in which some people feel MPP may be out of touch with Ghanaians because people are not generally in the mood for partisan politics this early, because you had a very grueling election just last year. And I think that the team that's in government probably was formed by June or something. So they're basically now settling in. So to start seeing 5 MPP leaders campaign already in 2025, right? I think they hadn't even finished appointing their DCs. It seems a bit early.
No, but that has nothing, that's an internal election. I understand.
But you're a national party of a certain size.
I think most important.
It's a flagbearership election.
And I said this many, many years ago, that in Ghana,
Yeah.
we don't allow some time off from politics. The day after election, and you, the media, the worst culprits, you invite people, NPP, NDC, and that's what happens. And so even when there's a heavy downpour.
But I know we don't do that here. You know we don't do that.
I'm not talking about you personally.
We are on this platform. We don't empanel politicians to discuss all national issues.
That's right. And I think that's a good thing.
We don't.
And I think the others should learn from you. You know. So,
and even if we did, we mix them with different experts so that it becomes a more...
So I have always felt that immediately after elections, you give governments time to get their feet under the table. And then after a year or two, as you prepare, you make your notes, you know. Like, it doesn't mean that when something happens and it's not good, like what happened with the Chief Justice, which I disagree, doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
We can't criticize it. But the posture of our party, and I had opportunity to say this even on national television.
Yeah.
When you suffer such a massive defeat,
Yeah.
it is time to retreat a bit, reorganize, take your news from what is going on. Don't be straight.
Allow the team to make their own mistakes.
That's what you do. I mean, so to understand, I've always felt that we do far too much politics too early.
But you're now in that trap because now you're actually helping to perpetrate something you stood up against.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, this is an internal election that has nothing, that should have nothing to do with the government right now.
No, but Conrad, just let me indulge me. If this was polling station elections, constituency, or even national NPP elections, this is a flag bearership. And in Ghana, the leader of the opposition is a big figure. So
that's right.
We have thrust national politics to the front page very early. So my point is, it looks like this approach may rub some Ghanaians the wrong way. These guys, it's too early.
No,
I
think rather open attacks on the sitting government very early, especially when they are now getting to settle.
Okay.
It may be a bit too much.
Okay.
You know? So you can't make comments, and when you think they are going wrong, say it in a certain way. But because at the end of the day, you have to give them the time and Ghanaians the ability to assess them. You know, you don't have to be judgmental early because it turns people off.
Yes.
And so that's where I felt that our communication strategy should have been varied, because it created the impression that we were still in the campaign mode, which should not be the case after an election. But I think all of us learn from these things, and as we go along, the party has taken a decision, January 31st, till unless something happens, is going to happen. So
you have to live with it. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the former president's meeting with the five. I call them the famous five, or the final five. The pictures look very nice. He will tell us a few things he's allowed to say. We'll talk about his campaign. How is it going? The Ghana's electorate has changed. We are told that now a lot of the voters are below 30. So how is that going to affect his chances? Particularly because he came to a national limelight a while back. And we'll also look at other national issues. He's commented about the Mahama administration. Are there any areas he feels already they are failing, for which he believes the NPP can do better? Stay with us.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. Nobody know why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
God, Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the son of Mampi. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Welcome back. We're chatting with Engineer Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. We have not yet had an engineer president, so if he succeeds, who knows? Last 2 weeks, I had a debate on engineers versus lawyers. Ghana has lots of lawyers in public life. I don't know if you watched that debate. I had a very healthy debate where we said it looks like some countries do very well because they have engineering types in politics. I think we have a paucity of that in our public life.
I saw an article, I've forgotten who wrote it. It was very well written. That
professor in Canada or something.
Someone talking about how we are now graduating only single figures in physicists.
Yes.
And that we have thousands of lawyers.
True.
You know, and that we should look at the Chinese example, where the top of the Chinese leadership, about 70% have engineering degrees.
Yeah.
And the kind of tuition and training you go through as an engineer, you tend to be very results oriented. You chase progress because it's all about project management.
Yeah.
And with engineers, what you design, you have to build. And so if there are any inherent errors, you are not very careful, you'll be exposed. And when it happens, it can be very fatal. So we are a different type. So we're very more meticulous, careful, very measured in our projections. Because design is about projection, you know, so you should be able to project future populations.
So you agree with the article?
Oh yes. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who, everybody I see these days, they're going to do law. I've been wondering what is happening, what is the
allure?
That's right. What is really attracting them to the profession? Yeah. And maybe I don't know. The answer may be given. By
let's watch the video. So you went to the former president's home.
Yeah.
Did he call you personally to invite you? Or how did you?
Yes, he called us all to invite us.
Okay.
For the breakfast, and I think it was a good opportunity for all of us to meet in a very relaxed.
So this will be the first time all 5 of you are meeting under one roof.
Yes.
Outside of maybe like a party meeting.
Well, I mean, this is the first time we've met,
okay.
which was a good thing. Gave us the opportunity to judge or have a relaxed session together. At least some very important things were discussed. But
did he give you the agenda before you came in?
No.
So it's just a breakfast.
Not everybody knew what it was about. You know, of course, the president has been around politics since the inception of this party, so he's been through all the difficulties and all.
Were you allowed to make your points about things happening in the campaign?
Everybody had the chance to speak, and so it was very open, very frank. Some tough things were said. Was it an in-camera meeting?
Was he like trying to mediate some sort of?
Not really. I mean, just using his experience to a bit of try and draw some boundaries, you know, for us. That we should try and operate within some parameters, because that will make it easier for us to work together. Because eventually one of us will become the victor. I'm hoping that it is me, but you can never tell. You know.
My news guys were saying, "Look at Kennedy Agyepong. You're smiling at everybody, laughing. You were very brisk in your greetings." So we are looking at body language now. So this is the Duchum coming in. But yours, if you can show me, yours was very. You see, okay. This is much later. I want when he came here. So here you are coming in. Oh, guys, what are you doing? Please take your time. I want to see this Brian. You know, Brian is bowing. I think the youngest, right?
Yes.
So you come in, you shake Fatih's hand. I think you were the last to come in.
Yes.
And then, are you the senior most in terms of
party membership? Party, maybe yes.
But not in terms of age.
Age, I think Kennedy is 65.
Look at you. Yeah. Hey, oh, quick. You didn't even look at some post space. What's going on here?
I think you are making a meal of it.
Justin Kodia rose to greet, of course, General Secretary too. And then Apenyo Markin, of course, minority leader. Yes. He got a bit more joy. But it was very brief. What's going on there?
Not much. I mean, I think they had waited for me for a bit. So I got in and then greeted and we sat down. Then we moved to have a bite.
So actually, you are in terms of party membership, you are possibly of the
I mean, without disrespecting anybody, but I can say that even as soon as 1998 Congress in Sunyani, I don't think any of them was there.
Wow. So you've been NPP longer than even Kennedy Agyepong?
Yes.
Wow. So 98 Congress, the one that brought Kufuor in,
yes.
You were the...
I was the campaign manager.
You're only member of the 5 there. That was actually part of that.
The president said it, that Kwabena I've known for a long time because he was my campaign manager in 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, I was with him in 1992 in his father's hotel. Do you know the Ringway Hotel? Yeah. And that is now the SG headquarters. That's where the party launched itself, you know, in 1992. I was there, and he mentioned it yesterday, so.
Wow. But I'm sure that says a lot about politics as well, because a lot of I'm told the voters now are much younger.
That's correct.
And a lot of them may not even know all of this.
Yes. I mean, if you look at the profile of the voting population, I think it's about 65% under the age of 40. So all those things that we did in those days, a lot of them were not born. Even in Kufuor's time was 25 years ago. So press secretary in 2001,
wow,
that's 24 years. Time has flown, you know.
Wow.
Time has flown. So it feels like it was just yesterday to me.
But does some of that upset you in a sense that you've done a lot for this party and yet you are not necessarily a front runner, and there are people who have obviously much more means than you, campaigning more, have more razzmatazz about their campaign, and yet you are like, been there, done that, have a T-shirt, and yet you're I mean, I'm looking at your campaign, and Kufuor doing like 4 constituencies at a go. It's like you're really, you are being very economical.
Well, there's no time. We have only 3 months, so it will be very difficult to try and do each and every one of the constituencies. And then, of course, it demands a lot. So if you want to meet the polling station executives, some constituencies have as many as 1,500.
Gosh.
That's huge. And I mean, if you decide to just offer
transport, you are dead.
Just offer support of 100, which will not cover their transport, that is 150,000 cedis.
Just to meet
one constituency.
Oh no.
So it's a tall order. So when I get an opportunity like this, when the delegates are watching and all that, that's where they take their decisions, I think. And so, but I think most of us are not even going that deep. Even Dr. Bawumia and the rest, they're all meeting the executives, the former executives, the electoral area coordinators, the former appointees, the council of elders, the patrons. So averagely about 100 per constituency. You know, that's the target when I go around.
There's a view that you didn't have money because the conversation was about the 4 million
Ghanaians and money. I think we are making too much of materialism in our country. And I think it's a sad trajectory that we are on. And that's what worries me about the direction of the country. So we are losing our moral fiber and our dedication to what is good for this country. Life is not all about money. And Professor Edud Buahe was not rich. Kufuor was not a rich man. Neither was President Akufo. So I don't know where this razzmatazz about money is coming. It's a sad commentary that now we've overly monetized our politics in the country. It's something I want to work to reduce, and that's why I was proposing for us to open up the Electoral College so that, because if you try to even meet 3,000 people, it's difficult to mobilize them into one location. So I want to use mass media like yours, just being given this wonderful opportunity, and speak to the constituency in a way, the leaders of the constituency. The polling station, they work with the electoral area coordinators. So once we speak to the coordinators, I think somehow you are getting down to the polling station executive. So I'm very worried about this talk about, I'm not walking around begging anybody.
Did you think the 4 million was too high, or that it sent the wrong message, or both?
Both. It sent the wrong message. But like I said, I spoke against it long before it happened. But we've dealt with that matter. It's behind us. I don't want to even discuss it. I think what is important now, as a party, we've got to restore ourselves back to our noble roots. In fact, that's the theme of my campaign. NPP, going back to our noble roots, when politics was a noble calling, where people were prepared to give something to their country, not to take something out of their country. And I think that is the kind of new Ghanaian, the new politician that we need, Bernard. And that's what I'm trying to fight and bequeath to the generations coming, because I'm fortunate that in 1992, I was just a young 30-year-old. I saw all these founders of our party. I worked closely with them, Dr. Selby, Dr. Safwadu, B.J. Darocha, Peter Lajete, Professor Sai, Moru Salifu, Lassand, Alaji Shaku, Bin Sali. I can mention them, Amesimeku, A.K. Deku. These are people who are selfless, who are prepared. Stephen Kreku, people like that, J. Addison and the rest. Addison was perhaps, the big businessman, by far the richest, but he didn't make any meal out of the fact that he was wealthy, and he didn't win the election in 1992, because it was all about merit, not money. And I want a country that revises and restores our cherished values, and so that our moral fiber leads us as a people. And I'm very uncomfortable when everybody is talking about the fact that he's not rich. There was one
campaign, I think an internal election in NPP, where somebody's motto was Ubia Bedidi.
I was.
It sounded quite interesting.
I think it's a sad commentary, because, and I've had cause to criticize a former NDC chairman who said no contribution, no chop. That chopping mentality should be taken out of our lexicon. Really out of our politics. We don't go into politics to chop. We go there to serve. So you have to go in there, empty yourself for the goodwill of the Ghanaian people. And I want to see all of us politicians lead by example. Lead that way so that we can change the narrative, and those who are watching us, the younger ones, will say, yes, that's why we want to be in politics. It has to be possible for people to realize that you can live a fulfilled life without being exceedingly rich.
A lot of the young people don't have money, and a lot of them feel like they can only depend on handouts from politicians, which is why you see a lot of them following them.
It is wrong. It is wrong, and I think it's part of what we should do to create an environment, or to create an economy that allows everybody to realize their God-given potential, which means we have to mobilize the forces of production in the country.
Okay.
Emphasize on that. Once we can mobilize the forces of production, create an economic environment that will allow them to thrive, then we can create the jobs that we need to create for our people. I don't understand why after 100 years of cocoa farming, we are still sending out raw beans when we know that the chocolate industry does not use raw beans. We can work towards saying that, by a certain year, in 5 years, all beans will be processed before export. And I think President Akufo-Addo did something with this tree crop development authority about 5 or so years ago. I was very happy about. We've got this cashew, rubber, mango, palm. These are massive crops that if we focus on it and get the Ghanaian businessmen interested in the value chain and do the processing. And I have been an exporter of shea before. And I was horrified that you go into the villages in Upper West, and then you go and find some Indians in there, you know,
buying the shit.
I said, this should be out there back in Delhi. If they want it, we will export it to them. That's why we have Ghana Export Promotion Agency.
There's a very interesting article on citynewsroom.com written by Dr. Ernest Kwabena. He describes himself as a sessional academic, School of Politics and International Relations, the Australian National University. And it reads, why Kwabena Agyepong and Agyei Agyepong are best as party executives, not flag-bearer candidates. This article is dated August 28, 2025.
Wow.
And just to summarize, basically, it says the party has a weak leadership that seems incapable and or unwilling to assert control or demand accountability. And the writer believes that you and Mr. Agyepong are perfect candidates to repair the vehicle called the party, not necessarily to be flag-bearer. He makes quite an interesting argument. He posted it and quite had some
I've heard this argument before, but I've always believed that the country is bigger than the party. You understand? And I think it's not the only the party that needs fixing. The trajectory that we're on as a country is a dangerous one. It's not a sustainable one because politicians from both sides of the divide. I've spoken to young students who are members of TESCON and TAIN, and you get from them the feel that they are part of these political movements because of either they're going to get a scholarship or they're going to get a good placement. It's all about me, me, me. The big developed countries did not get there this way. We need leaders who are prepared to work hard, put in equity sweat to develop our country.
Okay.
And we, the political leaders, have to lead by our actions, yes, not just by the way we speak.
Okay.
And that's how come. I mean, I've been there before. I've been press secretary to the president, pretty high position. I did not go grabbing state lands. I was not materialistic. And I think I worked without blemish because that's how I've been brought up by the elders of the party that I met and my dad as well. That you can live a fulfilled life without being exceedingly rich. I'm not a poor person, but I don't have to be exceedingly rich. And when you grow up, you don't need that much money anyway, you know. So I think we need to inculcate and imbibe in the younger generation that what I call my triple S doctrine: service, sacrifice, and selflessness.
Let's take a break. We'll talk about that and discuss a few national issues and read some comments when we come back with Engineer Kwabena Agyepong. Stay with us.
When malaria strikes your home, it strikes everything. Sleep, peace, and even work. Don't miss deadlines because of malaria. Don't lose your sleep to malaria. No more endless worry because of malaria.
Ole loco, enough!
Fight malaria back with Vegatem. Vegatem is effective, safe, and fast-acting against malaria. With its alu packaging, Vegatem tablets stays effective right to the very last tablets. Vegatem is also available in suspension for children. Vegatem, tough on malaria, easy on you. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please consult a doctor. This advert is FDA approved.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswati. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late? Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Go be the luckiest, go be from Georgia be luckiest, from not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be lucky, luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest, everybody go be the luckiest.
That's why
of boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 #. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Welcome back. So let me read a few comments for Engineer Kwabena Agyepong. Bernard, please say Assalamu alaikum to my big brother and role model, Engineer Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. May Allah Almighty continue to protect and uplift him. We are strongly behind him from Rashad Communication. Bernard, please ask him what difference is he bringing on and why does he want us to trust NPP and him? There's no name attached to this. This is a former party executive. Bernard, what was his conviction when he was following Bawumia all over during the 2024 campaign? That's an interesting one. I respect Kwabena Agyepong a lot, but instead of outlining his policies, he's attacking the NDC. He should be honest with himself that the NPP's last government did not do well. This is Kweku from La Paz. I don't think he's attacked NDC.
He just said he was surprised.
But there's some people seem to have an issue with the fact that you were working for the Bawumia campaign.
Does it,
Bernard,
does it presuppose that I was the only person who supported him?
I think you were the one who was actively
because
with
I
him
was the one
the
who,
campaign.
look, I've learned something things from our political history. In 1992, those of us, the young ones, from the Young Executive Forum, most of us supported Dr. Safo-Edu. Eventually, when he lost to Professor Dubois,
you all had to move.
And he took us there, and Prof just welcomed us with open arms. In 1998, as I've said earlier, I was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's campaign manager, trying to unseat Mr. Kufuor. When we lost in Sunyane, he brought me into his campaign to the extent that I was the one in the strong room for him in the 2000 election. In fact, after that, made me his press secretary, one of his closest confidants, you know. So it taught me a lesson in unifying the party. And I've always believed that once the majority decision is taken, then if you are a true patriot of this party, you have to line wholeheartedly. In fact, after the primaries and there were issues, a senior person was leaving the party, others were threatening showdowns and other things, I was the first person to come out and say, look, this is what our party stands for. We are Democrats. We believe in majority rule. The majority, I was a contestant. The majority have decided for Dr. Bawumia. I want to wholeheartedly work and support him. I encourage everybody else to stop the complaining and let's work together.
This is from a delegate I know, or somebody who I believe may vote. Will you be kind enough to ask Kwabena Agyepong what he as Flagbearer will do about the rising mentality of NPP members who joined the party solely for monetary gains and not actual service to the nation? We are seeing a number of appointees being cited for criminal offenses to do with illegal appropriation of funds, etc. I don't know if the question is clear.
Yes, it's quite clear. It's unfortunate. I mean, like I said, the country itself is being gripped with a period of materialism, you know, and our culture has changed. And in times past, Ghanaians didn't used to flaunt their wealth, but maybe because of social media, today even people are having a good meal, they take a picture of it. They sit in first class, they take a picture of it. That was not part of us. But again, I said to you before the program, we are in a different era. So we have to manage all these things, the good and the bad of technological advancements. But all has to do with our moral fiber. So if we, the political leaders, lead by example and we show by our actions that we don't like this kind of stuff, I think it will snowball to the rest of the population. But if we ourselves are showing opulence, you know, in celebrating birthdays, lush weddings, marriages and all that, some of which happened during our time, and I despise that, you know, because you see, once you go into public office, you've got to be sensitive to the Ghanaian people, especially the suffering that they go through. This is not a time to showcase wealth and opulence right in their faces, you know. So those are the things I want to stop. So if they realize that the leader And that's why I think leadership is important. Leadership with integrity. Leadership that they can trust. The questioner who talked about why they should trust me, because I've been there before. I've been there as press secretary to the president. I did not misconduct myself. I did not abuse my office. So you can trust me. It's not as if I've never had the opportunity. I've had the opportunity to do the things that some people do. I didn't do it. I chose not to do it because I believe in this. I believe in sacrificing for your country and working hard for your country. And I think people will take a cue from that. Ghanaians are very law-abiding, but they look at the leadership. Once you start being soft, and then they will do it much worse. You know, so I think those are the areas that, if I'm president, I'll read the Route Act. For instance, I mean, it's become a badge of honor for every minister to have a motorcade. I don't understand. I don't know when it became part of us. Because when I was as press secretary, in Kufuor's time, even Kojom Pianim, the chief of staff, would drive quietly into the castle. He didn't have a convoy. The chief of staff never used the convoy. He's alive. You can check with him. I lived in East Legon, very far from the castle. I never used the motorcade. I got up early enough, disciplined enough to wake up early, beat the traffic, and be sure I'm there before the president arrives at 8 a.m. So it's the type of leadership that we need to have to inculcate the values in our... Look, if you're a minister and you don't want to feel the way normal Ghanaians feel, then you don't deserve to be a minister. Why should everybody leave the road for you to pass through? If there is an emergency,
then you can use this.
It should be used in exceptions.
Let me read a few more. A special good evening to you and Engineer Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. I really admire Mr. Agyei Agyepong's humility and candor. And in fact, he's my favorite among the aspirants. His character emphasizes that good name is better than riches. And the world is not only about money and acquiring wealth. I pray that the delegates see this virtue in him and give him the nod. Daniel Osei in Sunyai. Where have you been so far? I've seen some of the shots.
Yeah, I've done Greater Accra, except 2 constituencies. I've done Ashanti, except...
Don't tell me you're going to go to all the constituencies in Ghana.
No, so I've changed the strategy now because of the time. So I'm doing clusters.
Okay.
So if I go to Koforidua tomorrow, I'm meeting the 2 new Jabins, North and South, and Suhum and Ayensuanu will join me. If I go to the Krobo area, the Krobo enclave, Ayensuanu and the 3 Krobos will meet me at Somanya. If I go to the Kuapem Mountains, and Samoma, Jajiri, Ebri, Okre, and Akropong will meet me at Ebri. So once I do that, then I go to Asamankese, Akwetia, Kede, Apa, Dintra, Adeso, and Asamankese will meet me there.
So as former General Secretary, when you go, do you recognize some of the people or this change?
Of course.
Because I'm sure that...
A lot have changed.
A lot of
people have grown older.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now that the former executives are also part of it. So when you meet them, you know them, they know you, you can mention their names, and it's really uplifting. And especially the fact that they are now part of the Electoral College. It has energized the base of our party, and that's why I was hoping and thinking that perhaps we should have widened that net. But you see these oldies, some I met in 1992, the woman organizer from 1992, still a very nice old lady, and it's touching.
One of the things some analysts say is that NPP should have allowed itself to think through its defeat more deeply.
That's right.
So that it will help in informing the choice. It seems as if there's a certain consensus among some members in NPP that let's just choose this candidate or that candidate because we don't want to go through all the trouble. So there's a feeling that the party hasn't really fully digested what happened in 2024.
To a certain extent, I share that because I sit here as a member of the National Council, member of the National Executive, and a former General Secretary. I've not seen Professor Okoye's report.
Serious?
I have not seen it. I mean, the day it was handed in, I have not seen it, even physically.
Wow.
So I felt that a small group should have been assembled and go into conclave and imbibe the report. Of course, you don't want to put your strategy outside.
But at least
go through it.
Go so through it. Have to know.
That's right. Those who have to know. A few, the campaign manager, the campaign chairman, the candidate, the former president, former general secretaries, former chairman, a few people in conclave to look at it and look at where we went wrong. You know, I think that was worrying. And that's how come sometimes it creates a certain image in the minds of people that there's an attempt to railroad the party, which is something that we all do not want. So I believe that this campaign at least affords me the opportunity to go and deliver my message, which has resonated positively. And I have a very strong team around me. I mean, the chairman of my campaign is the former foreign minister, member of parliament for Jusi Jobeng, Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. The campaign manager is a 4-term member of parliament for Kede, Ufusua Samoa. My director of operations, former Suhum MP. And you know, I have members of my campaign advisory board, Honorable Yalbenin Dako, Etiwa MP, Kranche, Asante Achim South MP, and many others.
Is President Kufuor in a position to offer support? Because
he's the father of all.
Of the 5, you are the one who directly worked for him.
It doesn't matter, but in his position, he should be father of all. I think we should respect that.
We shouldn't draw into this.
No. I think it's unfair.
Would it be nice to have a breakfast with him as well?
Why not? I mean, if he invites us, we'll readily go and enjoy it.
And you know, your friend Alan has left and he's formed a new party. It's called the UP. What do you think?
I would say I'm pained, you know, because Alan is like a big brother to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew Alan well before politics. Growing up in Kumasi, in the same area, in Rome, you know, nice man. When we were kids, it's like the big brother.
Everybody knew his father too.
Yeah,
right?
you understand.
Yeah.
And then we got into the politics in 1991, the Young Executive Forum, the likes of Kujo Banredu, myself, Alan McMenu, Teresa Tego, Gladys Asma, many others, Dr. Heyman, you know, and we were meeting virtually weekly. And although he was working with Empretech, you know, in a way he played a very frontal role, you know. So it's hurting. It's hurting that he's left. I mean, I still consider him a brother, but I'm disappointed in his decision. That's what I can say.
And where he's got into, there's no coming back.
Well, you never say never in politics.
I wish you well. What's your last 30-second message to delegates?
Well, I think that they should recognize that we have a big battle ahead of us in 2028. The party needs a candidate, a clean pair of hands, a candidate that Ghanaians can trust, and somebody who has the institutional memory of this tradition and who has suffered through the tradition and therefore understands and identifies with the struggles of the grassroots of the party, knows their problems, has been there as General Secretary, has worked as Press Secretary to perhaps the best president of the Fourth Republic. So I bring together a skill set, and as you said, a civil engineer as well, who is very action-oriented, very demanding of results, and very meticulous. And at the end of the day, I can say from the bottom of my heart, I have pure motives, good intentions for the country, and I'm very profound about the transformation of Ghana. I want to see this country change. And we, the politicians, have to lead the organizations who do with much less tinkering with the politicians. And that's what I would like to do. I want to impose a cap on the Supreme Court and lift their 70-year-old age limit.
All right.
You know, so I have a lot of things on my 6-point plan, maybe at an appropriate time. And not to forget the regeneration of the urban environment.
Wonderful. January is still a bit of a way off, so we'll probably talk again soon. I wish you well.
Thank you very much, Bernard. It's a pleasure.
We're speaking to Engineer Kwabena Agyei Agyepong, who's number 5 on the ballot.
Asieho.
He's channeling his inner Kufuor in the 2002nd round.
That's right.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.